Hello and welcome to Business 360. I'm Archana Solanki. Here are the headlines we're tracking this evening. Deep cuts on Dalal Street. Sensex and Nifty lose over 1%. Mid-caps and small caps continue to get battered. Overall market capitalization worth 14 lakh crore rupees wiped out in a single day.
We are nowhere near that risk. And there are enough checks and balances in our system today to compare ourselves in serious bubble territory.
Veteran banker Uday Kotak says Indian markets are nowhere near the bubble territory, acknowledges that there is froth in some pockets, but is quick to add that things are not out of control. ITC's largest shareholder, British American Tobacco, raises nearly 17,500 crores by liquidating a 3.5% stake in the company through block deals. The ITC stock surges over 8% in trade, adding 22,000 crores to investor wealth in a single day. Prime Minister Modi lays the foundation stone to build 3 semiconductor plants worth 1.25 lakh crore rupees. The Tatas will build India's first commercial semiconductor fabrication facility in Gujarat's Dholera at a cost of 91,000 crore rupees. Delhi police cracks down on a fake medicine racket in NCR, seizes spurious drugs with a cumulative price tag of over 4 crore rupees. Over 270 vials of fake drugs, including cancer medication, seized. Police arrest 8 people, including employees of Delhi and Gurgaon-based hospitals. Government notifies a uniform marketing code for pharma companies, bars companies, agents, wholesalers and retailers from extending any gifts to a healthcare professional or their family members, including travel and hospitality facilities. Also caps the amount of free samples a company can give out. A government-appointed panel calls for preemptive regulations on big tech companies to curb dominant behavior, warns that addressing anti-competitive practices after they occur could allow companies to evade scrutiny, proposes monetary penalties of up to 10% of global turnover for companies identified as systematically significant digital enterprises. State Bank of India submits a compliance report to the Supreme Court in the electoral bonds case, as electoral bond donor data and redemption data have been handed over in 2 separate files to the Election Commission within the court-mandated deadline. But the affidavit does not mention if the unique code on each electoral bond is part of the data. Israel's military operations in Gaza continue even as mediator Qatar says it hopes for a truce before the 9th of April. The first maritime humanitarian aid shipment to Gaza leaves Cyprus. The EU's foreign policy chief says starvation is being used as a weapon of war in Gaza. And 4 years later, US President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are set for a rematch in the presidential elections taking place in November this year. Both Biden and Trump have secured enough delegates in the states of Mississippi, Washington and Georgia to become eligible party nominees for the presidential elections. Right, so Dalal Street got battered in today's trading session. Nifty and Sensex saw cuts of over 1%, but it was the broader markets that fell the most. Mid-cap index tanked over 4% with 99 out of the 100 stocks ending with cuts, while the small-cap index fell over 5% with just 1 stock ending in the green. Both the indices turned negative for 2024. PSU saw the sharpest fall on overvaluation concerns. That index plummeted 7%. Heavy selling led to a fall of nearly 6 lakh crore rupees in market capitalization for these stocks. Adani Group stock also saw big cuts. The 10 group companies saw over 1 lakh crore rupees in market capitalization being wiped out. Nearly 200 NSE stocks hit 52-week lows, while 400 stocks ended at lower circuit. Overall market capitalization worth 14 lakh crore rupees wiped out in a single day. Vivek Iyer is joining us to decode the broader market fall. Vivek.
So before we go to individual stocks, let's give some perspective as to what exactly has happened as far as the broader end of the market and the kind of sell-off that we've witnessed over there. So we looked at 3 key indices. The first one is the mid-cap 100 index, the small-cap 100, and the NSE 500 index. These 3 indexes, are a very good gauge of what exactly is the sentiment when it comes to the broader end of the markets. So first, have a look at the mid-cap index. Today, down for the third straight session. Of course, majority of the selling pressure came today. just the last three trading sessions, it's lost over 2,700 points, a significant selling pressure. And today, the mid-cap index turned negative for 2024. Now coming to the small-cap index, again, down for the third straight session, over 1,300 points lost in just the last three trading sessions. And in fact, if you're talking about this particular year, the small-cap index is now down over 5%. Some significant selling pressure coming in over there. At one point during today's trading session, the small cap index actually had an advanced decline ratio of 1:99. So only one stock and the broader end of the market was actually trading in the green. Now coming to the NSE 500 index, down for the third straight session, down 800 points in just the last three trading sessions. And when you're talking about the advanced decline ratio, at around 3 p.m., the advanced decline ratio was somewhere in the range of 13:487. Again, gives you a sense of the kind of sell-off that we witnessed. So where did the pain lie? Now let's have a look at some of the key indices today that saw significant selling pressure. The first one, of course, was the BSE Utility Index. So utility stocks across the spectrum saw significant selling pressure, down 9% in the last three trading sessions, and the entire list of stocks, look at names like SJVN, NHPC, CSE, NTPC, Torrent, all of these stocks today saw significant selling pressure. The Nifty Realty Index, we highlighted this yesterday as well. Actually, there's a certain amount of pain and a lot of selling pressure, but today it got exaggerated. This particular index is down 10% in the last 5 sessions, and all of the names, look at Soba, Godrej Properties, all of them saw significant selling pressure. Now coming to the Metal Index. The Metal Index down for 5 straight sessions, down over 11% in the last 5 sessions, and again, all of the stocks, especially the PSU metal names, they were the ones that witnessed or bore the brunt of most of the selling pressure. And a lot of stocks in the 52-week low list today, surprising because we've seen a lot of upside as far as the broader end of the markets. But today, both large caps as well as mid cap stocks today hit the 52-week low. Some key names like VIP Industries, VRL Logistics, Z Entertainment, Sumitomo. All of these stocks had 52-week lows in today's trading session.
Right. Thank you, Vivek, for that. Veteran banker Uday Kotak has said that Indian markets are nowhere near the bubble territory. He also acknowledged that there is froth in some pockets, but is quick to add that things are not out of control. Take a look.
That I believe at this stage, we are nowhere near that risk. And there are enough checks and balances in our system today to compare ourselves in serious bubble territory. There may be early froth, as if I can use the phrase from what you said a few days ago, but I would say that it is still froth, a little bubbly, but not out of control.
ITC's largest shareholder, British American Tobacco, has raised nearly 17,500 crores by liquidating a 3.5% stake in the company through block deals. The news helped ITC's stock surge over 5%, adding 22,000 crores to investor wealth in a single day. BAT now holds nearly over 25% stake in ITC after the stake sale. BAT joins the list of foreign investors cashing in on high valuations in India. Earlier this year, global parent of Whirlpool and Timken have also paired stake. Nigel joins us with the details.
Well, that's right. British American Tobacco, they sold stake in ITC this morning and they've raised close to $2.1 billion. And this is the third instance of a foreign holder selling stake after the promoters of Timken as well as Whirlpool, they sold their stake earlier. But if the Indian markets are so well placed, then why are these foreign holders selling their stakes? Well, a couple of reasons. Renowned investor Sunil Singhania, he explains it perfectly in a tweet that he put out. He points out that BAT is trading at valuations which are far lower than ITC, in which it holds stake. While Whirlpool CEO Mark Bitzer, he defined it as an asset arbitrage, as the parent is trading at mid-single-digit PE, but the Indian listed subsidiary is trading at around 40 to 50 times its earnings. Now, all the three entities, they are cashing in the Indian market, but they're looking at bettering their capital allocation at the global listed firm level. Timken as well as BAT, they've already announced buybacks, while BAT and Whirlpool, they have said that they're looking to deleverage their books and looking at some debt reduction as well.
Right. Thank you, Nigel, for that. Prime Minister Narendra Modi laid the foundation stone for 3 semicon facilities worth 1.25 lakh crore rupees today. The event took place in Dholera, Gujarat, where the Prime Minister joined virtually. The biggest among the approved facilities is the 91,000 crore rupee fabrication plant, which will be built by the Tatas in Dholera. This will be India's first commercial semiconductor of fabrication facility. The Tatas will also build a semiconductor assembly and test facility in Assam. Apart from the Tatas, CG Power will build an assembly and test facility in Gujarat. Ashmit Kumar reports from Dholera, where the groundbreaking ceremony took place.
Well, we're coming to you from the industrial hub of Dholera. It's about 150 odd kilometers outside of Ahmedabad, Gujarat. This was the very location where the Prime Minister, flanked by Ashwini Vaishnav, by Gujarat CM, as well as by N. Chandrasekaran, the Tata Sons chairman, laid the foundation for 3 semiconductor units in India. This in Dholera is the site for the largest of them. This will be India's very first fabrication facility, semiconductor fabrication facility. It will invite an investment of about 91,000 crores, will generate about 55,000 direct and indirect jobs. This, of course, is the first. The second, of course, is the TSAT, that again, another Tata facility in Assam. This is a packaging unit. We'll see investment of about 27,000 crore rupees. The third is CG Power headed unit, which is in Sanand. Again, in Gujarat, we'll see investments of about 7,600 crore rupees. This will be an OSAT facility. A couple of aspects to bear in mind. What are the takeaways? Accelerated timelines. The Micron facility the foundation was laid in 100 days of approval. Here, the cabinet had granted approval on 29th, and 15 days later, foundation has been laid today, so accelerated timelines. Also, we spoke to N. Chandrasekaran. He said that in terms of accelerated timelines, normally for a fabrication facility to come online takes about 3 to 4 years. They're working with a timeline of 18 to 20 months, looking to commission the first chip out of this facility by December of 2026. Another key aspect is that the chips made in India will be exported as well, and also for domestic consumption. And finally, the government, of course, is hoping that this translates into greater interest by bellwethers of the industry, of the semicon industry, for investing in here in semiconductor units in India.
आने वाले समय में हम सेमीकंडक्टर सेक्टर से जुड़े प्रोडक्ट्स का कॉमर्शियल प्रोडक्शन करेंगे. वो दिन दूर नहीं जब भारत इसमें भी एक ग्लोबल पावर बनेगा.
At least we are looking at 50,000 jobs here, and at least 20 to 25,000 jobs in Assam. We are also trying to see how we can use AI so that it becomes a very, very advanced fab here, and also the assembly unit in Assam.
Now, JG Chemicals made a muted debut on D Street today. The stock listed at a discount of 5% over its issue price of 221 rupees a share on the NSE. The company's shares traded with a premium of 30 rupees in the unlisted market ahead of its listing. The issue, which closed on the 7th of March, received an overall subscription of nearly 28 times at close. Hyperlocal delivery application Zepto has become the first quick commerce company to announce a platform fee. The fee of 2 rupees per order will apply only to a select set of users. Zepto's competitors Blinkit and Swiggy Instamart don't collect a fee on grocery orders. However, they collect a platform fee for food delivery orders. Now, Zepto will also introduce a 15 rupee late night handling fee for select orders placed after 11 p.m. Moving on, Delhi Police's crime branch has busted a massive racket involving the manufacturing and selling of counterfeit life-saving cancer chemotherapy drugs. 8 people have been arrested in connection with this operation. Those arrested included 2 employees who worked at a renowned cancer hospital in the national capital. Ekta Batra joins us with the details. Ekta.
In the latest crackdown on spurious drugs, the Delhi police discovered spurious medicines worth around 4 crores with labels of 7 international and 2 Indian brands, along with vials, packaging and machinery, in a raid that took place across 4 places simultaneously across the Delhi NCR region. The first raid found around 140 filled vials of injections, including cancer drugs such as Keytruda and dextrose, worth around 1.75 crores. The second raid found around 137 vials of various injections, including spurious cancer drugs, and over 500 empty vials of various medicines. The network, which is said to have panned Delhi, NCR, UP and Bihar, included filling the vials at a cost of around 100 to 200 rupees and reselling them anywhere between 1 to 3 lakh rupees. There could be around 200 cancer patients, as per reports, who could have been impacted due to this. The team is apparently raiding additional locations for more arrests. This raid, remember, follows the recent joint operation conducted on the pharma factory named Nectar Herbs and Drugs in Uttarakhand, which was found to be producing counterfeit drugs of reputable brands such as GSK, Alkem and Cipla, and commonly used drugs such as Augmentin 625. One of the key concerns was also discovering that the factory was manufacturing dummy tablets filled with chalk powder.
Right, thank you, Ekta, for that update. On that note, it's time for a short break, but coming up next, Newsbreak confirmed EV incentives extended for 4 months beyond July. The Heavy Industry Ministry launched a 500 crore incentive scheme. More details when we return. Welcome back. We told you first and now it's official. The government has extended EV incentives for 4 months beyond July. The Heavy Industry Ministry has launched a 500 crore incentive scheme. Parikshit Luthra is here with the exclusive. Parikshit.
Well, yes, the CNBC TV 18 Newsbreak has been confirmed that the government is launching a scheme for a temporary period of 4 months. This is now being called the Electric Mobility Promotion Scheme. The total allocation is 500 crores. It is aimed at making sure that the EV ecosystem is not disrupted because the current FAME 2 scheme finishes and concludes on the 31st of March. So there was worry within the industry as to what would happen till the elections. But now that worry has been put to rest, a 500 crore allocation has been made through a new scheme, but this will only be for two-wheelers and three-wheelers and e-rickshaws. So the subsidy support also for two-wheelers has been brought down from 22,000 earlier to 10,000 per scooter now. And for electric three-wheelers, the minimum cap is around 25,000 rupees. This is for e-rickshaws. And the highest is 50,000 rupees per vehicle for high-capacity electric three-wheelers.
यह 4 महीने की स्कीम है जो हमारा इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी का अभियान चल रहा है माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के मार्गदर्शन में और बड़े पैमाने पर देश को इसका लाभ मिला है और आज हम तकरीबन 13-14 लाख से भी ज़्यादा वाहन आज भारत की सड़कों पर इलेक्ट्रिक वाहन के रूप में चल रहे हैं तो उसमें निरंतरता बनी रहे।
Excellence Enablers, a firm run by former SEBI chief M. Damodaran, has released its annual corporate governance survey. India Inc. has made significant improvements on some parameters, but there's a long way to go still. Ritu Singh is here with the highlights.
Well, first, this survey on corporate governance by Excellence Enablers considers India's top 100 listed companies by market cap, and the findings are based on annual reports and website disclosures. It finds that in FY23, there were 6 companies from this set of 100 which failed to comply with norms that require listed companies to have at least a third of their directors as independent directors on the board. This is up from 1 company in FY22, but down from 17 that were non-compliant in FY21. There were 35 companies that had not separated the positions of chairman and MD CEO as of FY23, including 25 non-PSU companies. If you look at gender diversity on boards, the survey finds that there were 2 companies, including 1 public sector bank and another public company, which did not have a single woman independent director on their board in FY23. But this has improved a bit from 15 non-compliant companies that we had in FY19. Now, there are 37 companies that just meet the criteria with 1 woman director and only 61 companies that have 2 or more women directors as of FY23. In absolute numbers across these 100 companies, there were a total of 149 women independent directors in FY23, up from 109 in FY19, and on average, 19% of total directors were women in FY23 compared to 15% in FY19, and 26% of total independent directors were women in FY23, up from 19% in FY19. So one could say the representation of women on the boards of these companies has somewhat improved in the past 5 years, but it is still far from ideal. A quick word on the top risks identified by these companies. The top one is financial, followed by operational, information technology, regulatory, ESG related, and so on. But I suspect the regulatory risk may be higher up on this list next year.
Right, thank you, Ritu, for that. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Business 360. More news and updates continue on the other side. Stay tuned.